Now, before I explain all of this, I have to explain the asterisk, which is before considering doing this, you have to talk to a physician.
Oh,
we're not physicians, so we have to give that. And I am also going to. I mean, we're
This is not medical advice.
We train realtors, and so Lori, start us out.
Sorry,
Welcome to the show this week.
I was just looking at you.
I've been really interested this week about why having anything in your kitchen seems to be offensive. And that everything needs to be hidden,
like appliances and
like you can't, like your kitchen can't even look lived in. Let's take a look at the first link. And my first question is, why do these things have to be hidden?
Why do these things have to be hidden?
This is fully a design aesthetic. This is like when you look at a beautiful kitchen island, like especially like in a Craftsman, like this particular photo is in this hidden outlet. You don't think like you don't want to see an outlet.
How long, let's say you bought this house and nobody told you it was there. How long would it be until you discovered that it was there?
I would never find it. Never. I would never find it.
You'd have to add that to the list of things.
I would be complaining that I didn't have enough outlets in my kitchen. I'd probably make my husband put more outlets in the kitchen. And then 10 years from now, we find that.
Yeah.
And then we're angry.
Yeah.
You find this and you're angry.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people, I've been doing a ton of like running, and we're going to get into that later, running and walking lately. But people spend all of this money on gorgeous windows in a neighborhood. Like they want big windows that let light and stuff in. And then I see that then they also spend an absurd amount of money on blinds that are never open. Like on those big windows, like in stairways and stuff, like that are never open. I mean, I could walk by there in the morning, midday, 10:30. They're never open. And these are not like bedroom windows. These are like stairway, floor to ceiling. I mean, that's an expensive window. So anyway, I'm on a little kick lately about what people really do want as far as light into the house.
As houses get more expensive, like I don't mean like normal expensive, I mean like expensive. They seem to be more open with their bathing.
I will say yes. Like yes, the picture window, which is a view of the bathtub. The standalone tub that is in front of a floor to ceiling window.
Absolutely. The number of houses I've seen pictures of where like the toilet was like a a feature to be seen. Or I don't know. Okay. There's no accounting for taste in that area or this area. I'm out on this thing. Well, I don't know. It doesn't really upset. I don't need it.
You don't need it.
Okay.
So moving on from hidden, obviously Lance doesn't want anybody to know that his items have cords attached.
Correct.
So we're moving on from
wow. Okay.
Okay.
From hidden outlets.
Yes.
So then the next two here, again in the kitchen, why can't people know that I have a coffee pot or a toaster or a microwave? It's a kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Hidden garage. I love this. Functionality and like cleanliness for when people come over. Some people care way too much about people coming over. That's what you're going to say. I can say it for you. I say it.
But it's just nobody comes to my house. I don't want them there.
You know what would happen is my cat would get in there.
Yeah.
My cat would get in there. and then the door shut.
Yeah.
And you're like, where's the cat?
Yeah.
And he's like,
Is it? Do you think it's a switch or do you think it's
a
remote
switch.
Controlled or
It's
like
a switch? Okay, so hold on. Let's just take it to another. Why do you have cabinets?
Why do you have cabinets to hide your plates?
Right. This is just a high-end cabinet.
Yeah, it's a statement piece. It makes a statement about the person who has it, and I think if you have this, it's good.
No, you don't.
I don't have it. Okay, one thing I see in houses that I really enjoy is like when they'll have like open shelving, but that forces you to have like all of your plates be aesthetically pleasing. So in my house, if I had open shelving like that, like this, in my kitchen, it would just be plastic cups and mismatched plates that.
So I feel this is like I feel like this is a thing where you're mixing entertaining in certain parts of the house with just like real living.
Yeah.
Like we've had kids, right? And I mean, the best way to clean like up their toys is to close the door on the playroom.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you can have enough space where you have just a playroom.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've got stuff thrown out and train sets out and stuff. And it's like, okay, it's time to clean up the playroom, and you just close the door. Like that's what I reference this to.
Yeah.
Is like, okay, we're cooking, we're making food and stuff. It's like,
That's true.
But let's just clean this up. Let's just like slide it all into the garage.
My appliances, when I put them back in there, wouldn't be as neatly laid out as these are. They'd just be stuff. That's true. I think everybody has a place in their house where they're just they want certain areas clean, but there's a spot where you're okay with just that. That's a shit show.
That yes,
Yeah.
yep.
And you just close that door. And you're right. For me, it's my kids.
Now, taking this to the next level, like it's really been popular, like you said, in those expensive upper end homes. Some people take this to another level. I think this is space saving for a smaller kitchen, and they just have I call it the butler's pantry, but the butler's pantry has been, completely hidden and redone to where a lot of people are hiding those in like floor to ceiling cabinet doors.
Yeah.
So you open it looks like you're opening a cabinet door, but then it's your wall, and all of this is just left out on the counter. So not a complete garage, a whole nother kitchen behind the pretty kitchen.
Well, take a look at what I just sent you.
Oh,
okay.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm getting ahead of ourselves here. Okay.
There it is.
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh my.
Oh wow, that's like a double, triple. Like, why even put a door on that second one?
No. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, now I'm mad. Okay, I was with you guys on all the. Okay, if that whole thing is hidden,
Why does it need the second door?
Why is it? Take the second door off.
Take the
Somebody's
second.
going to take it off. I was in a house this week where somebody's like, "Hey, I've got the door for this laundry room. We never use it. It's in the garage."
Yeah.
And this to me is a prime example. Somebody's pulling that second door off.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what the purpose of that would be.
But this is exactly what I was talking about. Good find, Lori. Yeah, like everybody's just over. You need to grab some stuff. You just run back there. It's all open on the shelves. And
Okay, so then look at the most I consider this to be the most extreme example, this one that I just sent you now.
there's another one.
And this is the one that I actually saw first and then kind of went, why?
That we went down this whole rabbit hole for.
I think this person has a probably one of those bathrooms I was talking about, where with a direct view into the
Talking about
into
kitchens.
this. Oh, I'm sorry. It always comes back to bathrooms.
Yeah, no.
Only in your head.
Only in my head.
Don't ask questions.
Ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking
Classic.
of ridiculous.
Okay, we got to talk about some real estate.
Yeah.
Real estate coaching, team coaching, human coaching dynamics. We're going to talk about the hidden benefits of a little program called 75 Hard. Heard of it?
Only through you.
Only through me. Okay, gotcha. So this was developed by I would call him a fitness entrepreneur, CEO. This guy built multiple businesses. It's credited by being developed by an influencer by the name of Andy Frisella.
Okay.
And he came up with a plan that has certain rules. So it's called 75 Hard, and that is for 75 days. And so the rules of this plan is that for 75 days you have to pick a diet or a meal plan. Now, before I explain all of this, I have to explain the asterisk, which is before considering doing this, you have to talk to a physician.
Oh,
we're not physicians, so we have to get that. And I am also going to. I mean, we're freaking.
This is not medical advice.
We train realtors, and so we have to say that because when you look into this plan, there's going to be as many, maybe if not more, articles telling you not to do it, and I'm going to tell you to do it. And so so there's our asterisk. So for 75 days, you have to pick a meal plan. People don't like it when you say diet, meal plan. And what's crazy is like a lot of people really get into the weeds of this. And I think a lot of times they have too many questions. It's like they have too many questions, so they won't start. So they'll be like, oh my gosh, Lance, well, what's a meal plan? What are you doing? What does that look like? So let me get to the rest of the rules and then we can talk about the meal plan. And the biggest thing about it is there in 75 days, there's no alcohol. So the part of whatever the meal plan is, it does not include alcohol. No alcohol, no cheat days, 75 days straight. Then you have to do 2 workouts a day, 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of those has to be outdoors. And you have to drink a gallon of water, which like I've worn a trail in the carpet from my office to the bathroom because when you start this program, yes, it's as bad as it sounds. You're pissing all the time. And so it's really clear though, however, I will tell you that. So, and you have to read 10 minutes a day from a nonfiction book.
Nonfiction.
Yep.
Okay.
Usually some sort of self-improvement or whatever the case may be. And then what am I missing? Oh, and then you take a progress picture every day. So you take a progress picture of yourself every single day because there is a high likelihood that when you complete this plan, you see what the transition looks like.
Right.
So let me talk about this a little bit. I of course, another realtor, another coach that I was involved with, had some clients that were doing this a couple of years ago. So my wife and I got interested in this. And then, also I think when you're empty nesting and your kids are gone, you are like, oh, well, what else can I do? Because I'm not going to be at sports every single night. And so, we were looking for a way to kind of reset. And so as we went in, we did it at the beginning of the year one year. I'm like, okay, instead of doing like resolutions, New Year's resolutions, and a lot of people do dry January now. Okay, let's just extend that and let's do 75 hard and see how it goes. And it's really, it's as much a mental toughness exercise as it is a physical exercise. A lot of people get really caught up on the physical exercise part of it and don't do it. And if you read the articles, I will tell you, you can find tons of articles telling you why you shouldn't do it. That there's no rest day and your body has to have a rest day and needs a rest day. And that so medically that's not great. Then there's all of these programs called 75 medium and 75 soft, which it's so out on.
What is 75? What do those do?
Like, I don't even know because my brain doesn't work that way. So I see though the headlines in the articles. I think it's like 1 workout a day.
Got it.
And half a gallon of water. One of them I saw like 90% on your meal plan. So you do get a cheat day because, you can't have the discipline to make it. So
still no alcohol.
Okay. So this relates to a lot of things in real estate. Yeah. One of the reasons we did it at first is because, I do kind of subscribe to the theory of like to find what your limits are and to find what your next level of capacity is, you should do hard things. And I think a lot of times now in this, in the real estate world and in the industry, I don't think agents do hard things.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy business. And so I like to tell agents like, this is a way to train for you to be able to do hard things. So you heard the plan, like give me the objections.
What
Give
happens
you the
if you
objections.
break in the middle?
Yeah, Lori brings up these great questions. So the rule on that is, if you break, you start over. So the penalty's massive. Like, and so that's, once again, it's designed that way to hold your feet to the fire with it, because the penalty is massive.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so like day 56, you mess up, then you're starting over. This is my 4th year on the program. Like, I see that much benefit out of it. So I do it at least this 4th year on the program. And it's interesting because there's a little part of your brain that says, what if I get sick? You know, what if I get sick? And so, you know, I'm going to gut it out. You know, I mean, it would be rough, but I'm probably going to gut it out. Because the penalty's massive. Mm-hmm. So I think that's part of that, teaching your brain, like, you know, Goggins always says, and once again, that's a whole nother show, but Goggins always says, like, you know, when you think you're about ready to stop, you've probably only reached 40% of your capacity. And so you've got a lot left to give in those situations. But
what diet did you choose?
So I cut out, so it's not complicated for me. I cut out simple sugars. I'm a huge Diet Coke guy. So I got rid of the Diet Coke. I cut out simple sugars and breads. And so, you know, I eat a lot of chicken, green vegetables, and rice. Like, those kind of become the staples. The other hard mental aspect of the program is that you start to deal with, I train agents a lot of times to say, if you want to be a good real estate agent and want to have a long-term career, you have to develop a skill called repetitious boredom. So when I look at athletes that practice all the time or do the same thing, humans are not good at repetitious boredom.
Right.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why, like, social media and what we're doing and TikTok scrolling and stuff is, like, if you tell somebody to go do the same thing for like 30 days in a row, most of people will fail like day 5 or 6, like that. You know, we get into routines, we have jobs, you know, and we come to work and stuff. But most people, for daily activities, repetitious boredom, they can't do it. So it's like calling prospects every day, keeping your pipeline full for your business. And so part of the mental toughness of this is teaching repetitious boredom. When you're eating, you know, grilled chicken on day 22 for the, you know, 18th time for lunch, or a tuna packet, like, you are getting bored of that. But it also teaches you to have creativity. So, like, what do you start to mix it up a little bit. You find different ways. So it teaches creativity through that.
What has been the most difficult part as far as finding time to get that outdoor workout in?
I can picture it in my brain.
Okay.
It was brutal. We were probably day 50, middle of February. Flew to Boston to go to a hockey tournament to watch my daughter play college hockey, and had to leave. It's difficult to get from the West Coast in a smaller market to Boston. It takes all day, so had to leave on the 5 a.m. flight out of Washington. Stop in Minneapolis, no problem, because big airport, loaded backpack, indoor walkout, 2-hour layover. You're just lapping the airport. Yeah. You never sit down. You get your indoor walk. You get your walk. So I got the 45-minute indoor workout done in Minneapolis. I land in Boston. I'm wearing like a thin jacket and joggers. Land in Boston at that flight gets in about 6 p.m. 2 feet of snow on the ground, and they lost my luggage. So I got joggers on and a thin sweatshirt. It's like 18 fucking degrees. I get to the hotel and they're like, hey, yeah, your luggage got left in Minneapolis. Like it's not going to be here till later tonight, maybe in the morning. I've got hat, gloves, jacket, everything prepared for my outdoor workouts, and it's not in my backpack. And I'm at the friggin' Holiday Inn, 2 feet of snow, and I got to do an outdoor workout. And I am like, I mean, yeah. And I got a wife with me too, and try explaining that to her. I mean, and so thank goodness there was something like local. It was like a Big Five or a Dick's Sporting Goods, but it wasn't. It was like a mom and pop. I see it across this, like half a block down across the street. I walk in there and I'm like, I need the cheapest hat and like mittens, like or gloves that you can have. So I got $9 mittens with no fingers, and I have to trudge through. The sidewalks weren't plowed. Yeah, so I had to trudge through the snow for a freaking 45-minute jog slash. Or you just do it though, right? Like I start to look around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, where's the nearest store that I can get cheap mittens and stuff? So you come up with solutions. So what this forces you to do, and that's our business. That's real estate is like, you've got to come up with solutions like that are outside of your normal routine. Walking in the airport, doing that. I remember walking through. 50-mile-an-hour winds. And I'm walking through the park down by the river, and like tree branches are like falling off. And I was like, okay, well, that's not a very smart place to walk, and you're just trudging. I'm like, maybe I should get away from the trees, and you become aware of things, but you don't normally. So those are some of the, it's not easy. Like, that's why they call it 75 hard. So those were some of my highlights where like I thought you do whatever you have to not start over. Cause like, I don't want to, and I do it I do it to kind of start the year, the mental clarity that it gives you, and the reading every day, you pick up on things, you just become, more aware of what's happening.
What happens day 76?
Day 76, I'm a Celebrate guy. So day 76,
Loaf of bread.
Maybe not a loaf.
Bottle of scotch.
Old fashioned for sure. Like my favorite.
Sedentary lifestyle.
Old fashioned for sure. And so, but you got to ease back into what I call real life. Like real estate business is like, it doesn't all come predictable. Like if you sell a couple hundred homes a year, like it's not like, you sell, it's not like you sell exactly one every day. Like you might go 3 days, not have a sale, but then you're going to have 3 clients go under contract. And so, for me, it just teaches you to have that capacity and know mentally, like when I have 3 in one day, you can handle 3 in one day and the other stuff that you still had going on. So the mental benefits of it is just teaching you healthy habits. And so where I kind of don't agree with some of the stuff where people are like, you shouldn't do, the first thing you hear from people is like, you shouldn't do this because you don't have a rest day. Well, the 2 workouts are not defined. That's what's the beauty of the program. Like the 2 workouts are not defined. And so in my book, I go to a HIIT workout gym, and those are tough. Like my strain level's high. I don't do that 7 days a week when I'm on the program. I do that 4 days a week. And then when it comes to Sunday, get up in the morning and do not even a jog, go outside, do a 45-minute walk. And it says just one of those has to be outside. There's nothing that says 2 of them can't. So if it's a nice, beautiful day, you do a 45-minute walk in the morning, and then after lunch, you go back out and you do a 45-minute walk. But you do have to game it out a little bit to where you have a rest day. Like don't do intense workouts, all of them, but just get them in.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a metaphor for how we run our real estate business. Is sometimes people are like, I'm just not feeling it today, so I'm not gonna check the MLS and send those houses to my clients. Well, what if the perfect house came up?
Yeah.
Or I'm not gonna make those 2 additional calls because I'm off today. Well, what if that's the day that your prospect can answer the phone and then you didn't call? And so I have a program of 75 hard for real estate agents, as well, where I've basically taken something very similar to this and adapted it to agents that I coach. And I'm like, okay, here's your 75 hard plan for real estate. You want to have a great business and get great results, then you do A, B, C, and D for 75 straight days. You almost can't not succeed, in that situation. But it's tough. Yeah. And it's a little boring. Even myself, who's used to doing it, there are days where I'm just like, I had one last week where I'm just like, this is so boring. Like, we've walked on the same block for so many times. Like, I just drove myself to another neighborhood. Yeah. I kind of use it in real estate too. 75 hard for me is I'm scouting. Yeah. Like, so I'm always like, oh, what neighborhood are houses for sale and what do the lots look like? I just drive my ass over to that neighborhood and that's where I do my 45-minute walk. I've walked more neighborhoods in my town, sure, that I'm selling in. There's all these benefits that start to happen that you just have no idea.
For sure. And there's something I think is maybe not unique to real estate, but it's something that I notice in real estate and notice in myself. I think with real estate, there's a little bit of a promise of freedom, money, and autonomy that doesn't exist in a lot of other fields that lends itself to that kind of thing, to choose a day and then a day to be lazy and then to have that turn into, a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Like, that's why like a ton of people are attracted to the business. And I'm talking about the exact opposite. Right. Like, people will come to our office and interview or want to be on our team. They're like, oh, I'm so excited about real estate for the flexibility and the freedom it gives me. And I'm always like, next.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like that's great. Like, yeah, there's a lot of flexibility. If you work 6 days a week, you can pick that. You can pick the 7th day to be any day you want off. And they're always like, oh, okay, great. I see. But yeah, and you can have that. Like, I will say, but you have to move your activities around. You can't shortcut some of those activities. They have to be moved somewhere else. The flexibility part is, yeah, you can go to a kid's game at 3 or pick them up at school, but you also might be working at 7 after they go to bed, or that. So yeah. There is flexibility, but the discipline part. And that's what's hard because one day turns into 4, turns into 7. And so this is a reset. And I mean, I think everybody can tell by listening to me talk, like I'm just a huge fan of it. Like all of the medical side of it. And, I agree with people that say, the asterisk at the beginning of the show is do this in conjunction with your doctor. And, I go to a doctor before I start the program, after usually a month or two before. And they're basically like, yeah, you can agree with all of those articles. I don't love it because I don't want you to have this up and down cycle in your health, Lance. And they tell me that exactly. I'm like, okay, but like medically keep me between the rails here. And so she's always like, oh God, okay, it's 75 hard. I get it. But then, what's weird is the blood work. You can do your blood work prior to hard 75, a month or two before, and then you can do your blood work at the end of hard 75. And you can make major changes to that. And it's hard for people to see in 30 days, or if you make small changes, 30 days, 60 days. So if you're somebody that needs to see that, the difference is astronomically different.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you can change your business the same way, the health of your business. Go to a doctor, go to your real estate coach, and
doctor. Dr. Lance.
And you can use these metrics to absolutely change your real estate business.
All right. We've done it.